Hello book lover, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay if you're new here, and if you are looking for some clean and Christian fiction books to read, you are in the right place because that is all we talk about here on this channel. Today I'm going to be doing my July TBR. So full disclosure, I am filming this on June 22nd, and so this is my pile of possibilities for July, but it's possible I might read a few of these before June is up because honestly, I have finished my Picnic in June bingo board, which is really exciting, and you will get all the details when I do my June reading wrap up. Now I'm just kind of mood reading, and I set aside a pile of books that I am just in the mood for, and then I think we're also going to do a couple TBR jar picks. So this is a pretty hefty and ambitious July TBR, but I do not expect to read every single one of these books. I'll be happy if I read half of them. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So I'm trying very hard to read 12 nonfiction books this year, and my nonfiction pick for July is going to be The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. I shared this in my birthday vlog and you guys went crazy in the comment section. Everybody loves this book so incredibly much. Everybody talks about how much it's encouraged them in their faith, and so I just really need to know what it's about. All I know is that this is about Corrie ten Boom and her family. They saved Jews and resistance workers from the Nazi police force during World War II. So that's pretty much all I know, but I'm really excited to get into this and just hear this story. This is a memoir. Hopefully I say that right. I always feel like I say that word wrong. This is a true story. It's technically nonfiction because it's a true story, but I have heard that it's written like a story. So I'm really excited to read this one, especially because it's kind of written like a story, as I love fiction, but going into this knowing it is all true, I think is just going to be really awesome. So my next read in July is going to be for the Salt and Light Reader Society. That is my Christian fiction book club, and we are going to be reading Tea with Elephants by Robin Jones Gunn. If you are looking for a Christian fiction book club to be a part of, you are absolutely welcome to join my Patreon. That is going to be linked in the description box, but we just have so much fun in our community. Not everybody participates in the actual book club, but if you're honestly just looking for a community of like-minded Christian readers or wanting to get a lot more recs than just I do here on the channel, I highly recommend joining. It's such a fun group of people to communicate with and just talk about books and our love of Jesus. But anyway, Tea with Elephants is going to be our read. Our discussion for this is going to be July 25th. That's a Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All I know about this is that this is a friendship Christian fiction novel. So there are two women who decide to travel to Africa and they explore faith. I'm sure there's going to be a great thread of just healing with each other through this story. So I'm really excited to read a friendship story. Now this next book, you guys are not going to be shocked seeing it. Maybe you'll be shocked seeing it. I'm not sure if I'm going to have read it by the end of June. So here's the thing. I have read so much fantasy lately that I kind of just need a fantasy break. So I'm putting Ink and Ivy by Ashley Willingham on my July TBR. I might read it before June is over, but we will see. I'm really excited to read this. I just want to go into this when I'm like in the mood for fantasy again. I just read so much fantasy that honestly, I don't want to go into this and not be in the mood for it because my mood can impact my rating and how much I enjoy and love a book. But this is a cozy adult Christian romantasy. It takes place in a fictional world, a fictional small town. There is a tea shop owner, a single dad who's like an elf. I've just heard absolutely raving reviews about this from everybody in my Christian fiction reading community, and so they're getting me really excited to read it. I just want to make sure I go into it when I'm in the headspace for another fantasy book. But Ink and Ivy by Ashley Willingham, I am really excited to read this. The next book on my list is Revealing Shadows by Paige Reed. I don't have a physical copy of this yet, but y'all are gonna hear all the tea pretty soon about Reviving Embers. That is the prequel to this series, and I am just so excited to read more of Paige's writing. Her writing is the #1 best Christian fantasy writing that I have read yet. Personally, I really loved her story. So I'm excited to get into the first first book of the Guardians of Aurelia series. This one is going to be following a crown prince. He is going to be like investigating some conspiracies against his kingdom, and it is another adult Christian romantasy if I'm not mistaken. I'm so excited to get into this book. The next book on my list. Now, I've been planning to read this in July, but I don't like reading a ton of fantasy series all at once. I might need to finish the Guardians of Aurelia before I jump into this because I know this is another series and I know I'm going to love it. But just in case the mood hits and I want to read another Christian medieval fantasy, non-magic, I will jump into The Huntress by Carrie Cotton. I'm really excited about this one because, again, the Salt and Light Reader Society have been just like raving about this book. Those that have read it absolutely love it. This is non-magic, and basically from my understanding, this is about a queen who has an enemy prince fall within her like territory or boundary lines, and she has to choose between her duty to her kingdom or mercy. So I've heard just great faith threads. I've heard that this story is just unlike anything that people have read before. It is an adult romantasy. I've heard people don't recommend this for teenagers. I'm definitely excited to read The Huntress. So this is definitely high up on my fantasy list. So if it's not in July that I read this, it will likely be August. We'll just see where my mood ends up taking me. Next, I did pull out some Mandi Blake books just in case I am wanting to read some sort of contemporary romance. This is the 5th and 6th books in her Love in Blackwater series. I know I've talked about it so many times already on the channel recently because I've been reading through it, but this follows Christians who are saved later in life, usually from some pretty rough, crazy situations, but they are like soap opera, popcorn dramas to me. Like, it is super dramatic. So if you don't like a ton of drama, I mean, I don't know, I love drama in my books. But Love on the Run, this is a runaway bride, and then we have Love Undercover, and this is about a guy who gets out of prison. It's like a second chance romance, maybe. Like, he's falling for a woman that he kidnapped before he went to prison. I'm really interested to see how Mandi works this one out, but again, they're just like these crazy plot lines. Like, I have no idea how she thinks about these things. Mandi Blake is on my list if I decide that I want to get further in this series. Full disclosure, I'm probably going to start this book today, but I pulled them aside. This is Friends and Foes in Drops of Gold by Sarah M. Eden. This is just a placeholder for the Jonquil Brothers series. I just finished, actually this morning that I'm filming, Kiss of a Stranger, which is the first book in the Jonquil Brothers series, and I'm just really excited to continue it. Sarah M. Eden writes clean Regency romance, and I just absolutely love her sense of humor. Her wit in her books is just so funny. All I know about the Jonquil Brothers series is that it's going to be following this group of brothers and them finding love, that kind of stuff. If you are somebody that does not like character-driven books, Regency romance is probably not the genre for you. They're not typically super action-packed with a crazy heavy plot. There is plot in them, but a lot of the plot is the characters growing emotionally and of course them falling in love throughout the story. And I just love the way that she writes human emotion and human connection, and so I just really love them. I love the Regency setting. I love hearing about the high society. I love the gossip mongers, and I just think it's so fun. This series is going to be a little bit more depth and emotionally heavy than the Seeking Persephone, the Lancaster family series, and that was very true with The Kiss of a Stranger. I'll talk all about that in the content next week. I'm expecting this to be more heavy on the emotional side, but also she still weaves in her humor and her wit, and so I'm just really excited to get to know this family and read through this series. I don't know exactly what ones I'll be reading in July, but I really want to try to work through it. What I know about Friends and Foes, this has to do with like trying to capture a French spy, so that sounds a little more action-packed than her other ones. Drops of Gold is a woman who decides to take up a secret identity and get a job as a governess and starts falling for her employer. So that kind of line. Honestly, I'm just really excited to read more. I might end up reading both of these before June is up. We'll see, but just know Jonquil Brothers, that is on my current radar. Next, I threw a couple rom-coms on my TBR just in case I'm in the mood for something a little more lighthearted and fun. I have Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham on the list. This book is a Christian rom-com and it is like long distance. She's a librarian, he's a book nerd, and I just know there are a lot of J.R.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings references in this series, and that's one of the reasons I haven't read this book yet, because I wanted to wait until I finished reading through the Lord of the Rings because I didn't want to miss any of the possible references in this book. So I'm really excited to read this. I don't know for sure if it will be this month, but it's definitely on my radar. Next is a clean rom-com, But He's My One Regret by Annah Conwell. She is a Christian author, but she doesn't write Christian romance or Christian fiction, if that makes sense. So this is the second book in the But He's a Carter Brother series. The first one is But He's My Grumpy Neighbor, and this one is following a detective and a police department therapist. They have met before in the past on vacation, and of course sparks flew, and then they just never saw each other again or something like that. And then she ends up working at his police department, and I'm assuming sparks are gonna fly again, but it's kind of forbidden because it's like a workplace romance type thing. I'm really interested to see what Annah Conwell does with this, and it's another one of those series that is you're following brothers and I don't know what it is. In these interconnected standalone romance types of series, whether it's the Jonquil brothers or the Carter brothers, I love seeing the continuation of the family dynamic and seeing each of the individual brothers just fall in love. I just think it's so adorable. So that was my entire mood pile. So let's go ahead and do a couple TBR jar picks just so I can have a couple more in the mix. So my rule with this is I pick 2 tabs, and then whatever one I'm in the mood for is the one that I will end up choosing. This first one is Marriage of Convenience, and then a book featuring a book club or a book lover. So honestly, I feel like Authentically Izzy could work for a book lover. Marriage of Convenience, I bet there's a Regency one. Oh wait, actually, I have been wanting to get to Alliance Bride by J.L. Knighton. I know that this is a marriage of convenience, 2 kingdoms marrying for a marriage alliance, but I've heard it is so beautiful. This is a Christian adult romantasy, but there is no magic in it, and it's kind of got like Norse type of vibes in it. Everybody that has read this in the Salt and Light Reader Society absolutely raves about it, so it is definitely higher up there on my list. So there we go, that's the Marriage of Convenience pick. Okay, let's pick the next 2. A book that was a gift. That would be easy because I did just get a lot of books for my birthday, or a slow burn romance. I'm gonna go with a book that was a gift. Okay, Drake Hall. This is the second book in the Secret of Ormdale series. Again, this is another fantasy, but it's more cozy. But if I just want a super quick, like this is novella length, 220 pages long. If I want a super quick, just cozy fantasy, then I will go with this one. This was a birthday gift from my sweet friend Tessa, and so I've definitely been wanting to get to this forever. This has been on so many of my TBRs, so I have no excuse not to get to it now, and I feel like this is just a fun addition to throw into the pile. So that's what I'm going to pick. And the Secrets of Ormdale, again, this is just like cozy fantasy. There are references to classical books in it, and there are also Bible references and things like that. I don't think the author herself classifies these as Christian fiction, but I feel like they kind of are Christian fiction. So that is the pick for a book that was a gift. That was like the perfect tab to draw. So that is quite the stack for July, plus Revealing Shadows by Paige Reed. But let me go through this one more time. Oh my gosh, how am I even gonna hold this? We have The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, Tea with Elephants by Robin Jones Gunn, But He's My One Regret by Annah Conwell. The next 2 books in the Love and Blackwater series, the Jonquil Brothers series, we have Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham, The Huntress by Carrie Cotton, Ink and Ivy by Ashley Willingham, Drake Hall by Christina Bayer, and Alliance Bride by J.L. Knight, plus Revealing Shadows by Paige Reed. That, like I said, very ambitious TBR, but these are the things that I'm just kind of like in the mood for right now. And I'm going to be picking through this through the end of June and also throughout July. So stay tuned for my July reading wrap up if you want to know my thoughts on these books. If you made it this far in the video, please leave me a smiley face in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, all of your love and support here on my channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe because that lets the YouTube algorithm know know that, hey, there are Christian readers too who read clean and Christian fiction books, and that would just really help me out and the channel out. If you are looking for a community of Christian readers, absolutely, please feel free to check out my Patreon. That will be linked in the description box. But other than that, I don't really have anything else for you. We'll see what all books I actually end up getting to. I always think that's the most fun part about doing a reading wrap up and a TBR, is seeing what I actually ended up reading. But thank you so much again for being here. I love you guys. I hope you have the best week ever, and I will see you next time. Bye!